On today's edition of the Commanders Report, Washington worked out a former second-round pick, and we're going to be talking about who that is and how he could potentially help out the Commanders' defense. Then we'll get into the latest Commanders injury updates from head coach Dan Quinn. Talked about Terry McLaurin, Noah Brown, and Sam Cosmi. Get the latest on those guys. And then we'll talk about Bill Croskey-Merritt, and I'm going to be breaking down his fast start to his rookie campaign and why it's even better than you probably think sitting at home right now. Welcome into the Commanders Report. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Before we get into the content today, make sure to hype up this video. YouTube has a new feature called the hype button here on this platform, and we're kind of trying it out here today. So if you guys want to scroll right of the comments section and then type the hype button, we would greatly appreciate it, guys. If you love the burgundy and gold and you appreciate the work that we do for you here on the Commanders Report, you want to give us some hype, go ahead, slide right of the comment section. There's going to be a hype button on there. Press that button to send some hype our way. All right, so now let's talk about some workouts that happened this week for the Washington Commanders. They brought in defensive end Drake Jackson, former second-round pick, and then Julian Good-Jones, former Commanders offensive guard, for free agency workouts this week. They have not signed either one of these guys at this point. I want to make that abundantly clear. But Drake Jackson is a little bit interesting to me, guys, because he's still really young. He's only 24 years old. He kind of fits the mold of what the Washington Commanders want from like a defensive end, kind of like that Preston Smith, Dietrich Wise, kind of bigger defensive end type of prototype. He was the 61st overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. It's a second-round selection, guys. But he hasn't played in the NFL, or at least not in the regular season game, since 2023. So he's currently a free agent. He's worked out for a couple of different teams, and now he's worked out for the Washington Commanders. And, you know, this makes a lot of sense to me, okay? Jackson fits kind of the mold of that bigger, kind of run-defending, 4-3 defensive end type, all right? Dietrich Wise obviously filled this role when he was still playing. Now he's out for the season with a quad injury, and the Commanders have been, you know, trying different people out. I think Von Miller and Jacob Martin have actually done a pretty good job filling the role there on early downs for the Washington Commanders, and they brought in Preston Smith. He looks like he's going to get into the rotation a little bit, but they still need more depth at this position here at 4-3 defensive end. And, you know, Drake Jackson would certainly be somebody that fits that role. And obviously Adam Peters knows him well. He scouted him along with 49ers GM John Lynch when they selected him in the second round in 2022. So clearly Adam Peters has some affinity for Drake Jackson, and evidently he still has some of those good feelings towards him because he brought him in for a workout. And, you know, we don't know how well the workout went, all these different things. We don't know if the Commanders are going to sign him. I'm guessing not this week anyways, because they didn't sign him after the workout happened. But definitely an interesting name to keep your eye on here, especially if the Commanders continue to take injuries to that defensive end position. So then let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Would you sign Drake Jackson, even if it's just a practice squad signing? Type S for sign or P for pass. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So in just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Prize Picks. While I'm telling you about today's sponsor, let me know S for sign or P for pass. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Prize Picks. And you and I, we make decisions every single day, but not every single one of those decisions gets you paid. But Prize Picks, you guys can download their free app today. And if you get your picks right, you could get paid hard, cold cash. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football season is finally here, and you better believe I'll be getting my Prize Picks lineups in all season long. Prize Picks is super simple to play. Just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks also offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. A new feature from Prize Picks that I absolutely love is injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks will not count that as a loss. So you guys can take a look at my projections here for Thursday Night Football between the Giants and Eagles. I'm taking the less for receiving yards for A.J. Brown, the more on Jalen Hurts' rush attempts, the more on passing completions for Jackson Dart, and the more on Saquon Barkley touchdowns. If you guys want to get your projections in for Thursday Night Football or for this week's professional football action, you guys can download the Prize Picks app on your phone for free today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. So today in Ashburn, Coach Q took the podium before practice here on Wednesday as this team continues to prepare for Monday Night Football versus the Chicago Bears. Gave some injury updates that I want to share with you guys. First up, Terry McLaurin, the biggest name still on the injury report. Still not at practice. And, we're hoping as the week goes on, he has more and more participation. But unfortunately, he has not been able to practice ever since he had that kind of mysterious quad/hip flexor injury. Apparently, he's had a hard time running on it. This is definitely getting a little bit concerning to me here, guys. And I would say at this point, if I had the guess, I think Terry McLaurin's going to take probably another week before he can return to the field. But with the extra day to get himself right before Monday Night Football, I guess you never know at this point. We'll keep you updated as the week goes on. But some great news on the wide receiver injury front here is that Noah Brown has finally returned to injury today. He's been dealing with a groin issue. He's missed a number of games at this point with that groin injury, but he was able to return to practice today. So we'll see what his status looks like throughout the week, but the arrow is certainly pointing up. If I'd have to guess right now, I think Noah Brown plays on Monday night. Speaking of guys that I think will probably play on Monday night, Sam Cosmi will get a full week of practice this week. According to head coach Dan Quinn, he had a couple of full participation practices last week as well in preparation for the Charger game. Did not make the trip over to Los Angeles, though. This week, he's going to have a full participation, a full slate of work. So that's certainly a good sign here. And, if he gets a good week of work in and they feel like his conditioning is up to where it needs to be to play an NFL football game, I would expect Sam Cosmi to be out there as this team's starting right guard. But the good news is, guys, I don't think the Commanders need to necessarily rush this. Andrew Wiley has actually played really well as this team's starting right guard. And if they need to take another week to ramp up Sam Cosmi and they want to, play it safe and play Andrew Wiley for one more week to make sure Sam is good to go for week 7, I'm perfectly okay with that strategy as well. Now, before we talk about Bill Croskey-Merritt here, guys, make sure you click that thumbs up icon if you're happy that this team is getting healthy, all right? Over the next 2 weeks, I'm guessing all 3 of the big-name players, the starters that are on this injury report, are going to be good to go and ready to play. And, of course, last week you don't take any injuries against the Chargers. So right now it's good to see that this team is finally getting healthy. You got Jaden Daniels back. You're going to be getting Terry McLaurin back soon. Sam Cosmi is going to be returning to the lineup for the first time this season. It just feels good right now to be a Washington Commanders fan. So if you want to help out the show today, click that thumbs up icon if you're happy about it. All right, so now let's talk about Bill Croskey-Merritt, man. One of the stories in sports right now. Forget the Washington Commanders. Forget professional football. All right, he's one of the stories of all sporting world right now because he's a 7th-round pick coming in and immediately looks like a legit number 1 running back for the Washington Commanders. And honestly, guys, his fast start to this season is probably even better than you think it is because his efficiency numbers are off the freaking charts. He is number 1 in the entire National Football League. All right, he's outpacing Jonathan Taylor right now, guys, who's expected or who is the favorite right now to be Offensive Player of the Year in these metrics, guys. He's got 6.6 yards per carry. He has a number of explosive runs that have helped him out in that regard, but that is number 1 in the National Football League in yards per carry efficiency. Also, the rush yards over expectation per carry is 2.2, which is number 1 in the National Football League, even over guys like Jonathan Taylor. And the same thing goes for the success rate. 60% of Bill Croskey-Merritt's runs are deemed successful. All right, so that is absolutely showing that this kid right here is already one of the best and most efficient running backs in the National Football League. I think the offensive line deserves a lot of credit as well for blocking their butts off for this young man. But listen, man, Bill is officially the steal of the 2025 NFL draft to me. And, I don't care what anybody else does in the kind of the later rounds here. Jacory Croskey-Merritt already looks like the best running back in this entire class, and the Commanders only had to use a 7th-round pick on him, all right? And we knew going into this draft that the Commanders didn't have a ton of picks, right? They traded some away in the Marshawn Lattimore deal and all these different things. They didn't have a ton of draft picks this year. But the guys that they used their early draft picks on, Josh Connolly Jr. and, of course, Trey Amos, those guys look like they're doing a pretty decent job as starters to kick off their Commanders' tenures. They got Jalen Lane, who's already a pretty darn good punt returner for you. And then you got Jacory Croskey-Merritt, who he took in the 7th round, and this guy is looking like an absolute stud. He's leading the NFL in all these efficiency numbers, and I don't see him slowing down really anytime soon, guys. And, what excites me about Bill Croskey-Merritt is because you are combining his skill set with the rushing prowess of the quarterback as well in Jayden Daniels, all right? And if you think, going up against Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry is difficult, and it is, all right, because you got that dynamic quarterback rushing threat to go along with a really, really good number 1 running back in Derrick Henry. Well, now you got Jayden Daniels and you got Jacory Croskey-Merritt, a really explosive running back, quarterback, rushing duo that defenses are going to have to respect. They're going to have to put that extra guy in the box. They're going to have to, account for Jayden's rushing ability with the read option game and everything that the Washington Commanders do to take advantage of his rushing skill set. But now you have to deal with this explosive cat, number 22, Bill Croskey-Merritt. I mean, that's going to be really difficult to defend, and it just makes this Commanders rushing attack, in my opinion, probably the best in the National Football League, at least to this point in the 2025 NFL season. And what's really scary for opposing teams, guys, is both of these guys are on their rookie contracts for a number of seasons to come. All right, you got 3 more seasons at least with these guys under contract. And under cost control deals. So that means you're going to have one of the most explosive quarterback running back kind of duos that's going to be really difficult to defend. And you're going to have the cost control element of that where you're not going to be paying these guys really market value, which is going to open up opportunities to make this defense better in future offseasons. It's going to open up opportunities to get Jayden Daniels more receiving weapons and to continue to build up that offensive line that has been moving in the right direction under this regime. So having these 2 guys, man, and under rookie contracts is going to mean a lot of bad things for the rest of the National Football League. I can tell you that right now. And as long as the Commanders can keep these 2 guys healthy, this rushing offense is going to be one of the best, if not the best, in the National Football League for years to come. So fill in the blank for me down there in the comment section. Bill Croskey-Merritt is already a top blank running back in the NFL today. Is he already top 20, top 10, top 5? Is he the best running back in football right now? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Now, before I go here, do have one more thing to talk about here today, guys, and it is the uniform choice for the Washington Commanders as they prepare to take on the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. And, of course, they got to bring out the All Blacks, man. And, the reason why I absolutely love this, personally, I love the All Black alternates. I just think they look sweet, especially when Jayden wears that dark visor there. But, of course, these are the same uniforms that this team played with when they played the Bears last year. And, of course, the Bears will be wearing their same uniforms as last year as well. So I love how this is just like a little bit of a dig by the Washington Commanders to be like, hey, remember what happened last year, Chicago? So do we. We're going to be wearing the same uniforms as we did last year. So to see that on ESPN on Monday Night Football, it's going to be absolutely fantastic, guys. We'll be going live for that game, by the way, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time for our live watch party. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We already have our Monday Night Football preview video up on the channel. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll put the chip for that one in the top right of today's show. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, go raise some hell.